So Esteban just introduced you as a defender. So as we are looking down on the field before the opening whistle, it looks like Kevin O'Toole's in the midfield. Indeed, that's where you ended up. Can you maybe talk about the week leading into it, and which was short because you're coming back from international duty, and then the decision to start you there?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we lost kind of two of our starting midfielders in Pepe and Aiden for the last match, and so we knew there were going to be some changes in there. I thought Johnny came in and did an amazing job of settling things on the ball, and he's a big game player, and he's shown that all year, and so I thought he was fantastic. And then wasn't sure where I was going to play in this one. I suspected it would be out wide, and it wasn't until pretty late on in the week that it was determined that I'd be playing in the midfield. Close to like a game time decision, but I was in the back of my mind just kind of prepared for that moment and that opportunity. So it's obviously like a very hectic and physical game, and I think it took a bit to settle into the pace of it, but I think once we did, we were a lot more assured and put up a good fight.
So during the run of play throughout the season, there's times where you've essentially become the six just because of how the game is flowing. But at the end of the third Charlotte game, you actually moved in there for, I don't recall how many minutes it was. It wasn't a great deal of time, but did that help make you a little more comfortable with going in?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think obviously it's different, planting yourself in there than popping in and out of there. And I think, that was an adjustment, but I think doing it in Charlotte gave me a bit more comfort and knowing that I've done it before. I think just kind of relying on my experience in popping in and out of the midfield, and just trying to orient myself once I was there more permanently.
Just final, have you ever played a permanent role in midfield with any team that you've played with in your career?
Yeah, probably in college a little bit.
Okay.
Not really deep in the midfield though, more like as a 10.
Yeah.
It's the first time in a long time, probably since my youth career. But it was enjoyable, and we'll see if there's more opportunities down the road.
A lot more going on in there.
Yeah, a lot more, that's for sure.
Obviously, now looking ahead, play obviously a very talented and stacked Inter Miami team. When it comes to Inter Miami, obviously everyone's going to look at Lionel Messi, but what makes them such a threatening team outside of just having one of the greatest players in the world on their roster?
Yeah, I mean they've got quality in all positions on the field. We've obviously learned that over the last year when we played them tight in Miami, and then they came into our place, and we frankly didn't put up a good enough fight and lost that one. So I think we know what we're up against, and we obviously know their level of commitment and urgency to try to want to win the title, but we're in the same boat. And so I think if we've learned anything from the last game, it's that we give them a proper amount of respect, but we can't overdo it, and we need to play our game and impose our will on the game. And so that's kind of I think how we're going to look to approach it, is that we gotta leave our imprint on the game, and that's going to be the way that we go out and win it.
Messi's obviously played a couple of years in this league now, kind of become a fixture. You've seen him a couple times. How do you, I guess, do that balance, showing them respect but not getting lost in sort of the aura of having that particular player out there?
Yeah, I think we will rely on our experience playing against him. I think barring the last game, we've done decently well in managing him in certain parts of the field, and so I think we just need to rely on our experience of playing against him and the other big names they have in the team. And I think that'll this will be the 6th or 7th time I think we've come up against this team, and so I think we'll look to rely on that experience and go ahead from there.
Obviously not giving away the farm, but what have you noticed the team has done successfully in the past in kind of keeping him off the scoreboard or limiting his Messi's opportunities?
I think it's just a full team effort, intensity in the midfield and in covering ground and making sure that he doesn't have so much time to face forward and look to play balls in behind us or run at us. And it's just a collective effort every time, just closing down the areas that he pops up in and doing the best we can and limiting him, because he's going to have his moments throughout games. That's inevitable, and he has throughout his entire career, as we've all seen. So, it'll take a collective to try to slow him down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the last time you played Inter Miami, it was a 4-0 loss. What were the lessons that were learned out of that you can apply towards the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think kind of what I alluded to earlier, like we probably gave them too much respect in that game and maybe sat off them a bit too much or shied away from kind of playing our possessive style of play. And I think we just need to get back to what we know that we're good at, kind of rely on the foundation that we've built throughout the year and execute our game plan versus kind of, I guess, like wilting to theirs. That's the best way I can put it, is just impose ourselves on the game. And, if we do that and we still come up short, so be it. But we have to go out there and execute our game plan to the best of our ability, and that'll give us the best chance possible.
A couple of years ago, this team only won one game on the road. Now you're on a streak where you've, correct me if I'm wrong, what is it? You've only lost one out of the last 9. But what has changed, and why is this team so successful being able to go away?
I think one of the things that Pascal harped on early in the year was having a bulletproof mindset. And I know he's mentioned that in his pressers as well. I think that's just kind of been a theme that's been, you could kind of follow that line throughout the entire season. It's kind of come up in all of his conversations throughout the year. If we've had dips in form on the road, he's kind of harkened back to that message of having a bulletproof mindset. And I think that just comes down to playing our game no matter the environment and no matter the opponent. And I think we've kind of relished playing in the away environments this year and really enjoyed those hostile environments and silencing crowds. And I think the team has kind of developed that identity, and it's something that we look forward to and are excited about those challenges each time. So I think that's, the emphasis on it early in the season to kind of right that ship, and then also the way that the team has enjoyed the difficult moments on the road.
For most of this playoff run now, it seems like you guys have been viewed as the underdog by the outside. I'm curious how you guys view that narrative. Do you pay any mind to it? Do you kind of lean into it and go, well, all right, we're the underdogs, let's how do you guys look at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the club has had a history of performing well in the playoffs as the underdog. I think even when the team won in 2021, there were a lot of road games to be had. In 2022, my first year, I know we went on the road in difficult places and came away with wins. I think it was Montreal in 22 when we did that. So, I think it's just been like part of the club's ethos to go on the road and in difficult places in the playoffs and kind of grind it out and come away with the result. And I think the team has embodied that this year. Like I said, it's a challenge that we really enjoy. So, we'll try to do it again this weekend.
And just when it comes to that too, you do have some veteran presence, in particular Maxi Morales, who obviously had such a big impact on Sunday's game. When you look at Maxi's play, his leadership, what kind of comes to your mind when you think of just Maxi Morales as the player?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to see what he's still capable of doing. I think in all the playoff matchups against Philly he scored in, I remember the one very vividly in 22 when we went ahead 1-0 on his strike, and to see him do it again last night, you just have the images of him scoring in Philly kind of replaying in your head, and it's just so cool to see. But I mean, his leadership is next level. Like the way he orchestrates the press on the field, the way he's kind of in everyone's ear in a positive way to try to bring the best out of everyone. It's it's something that's irreplaceable, and he's done an incredible job, and he always seems to elevate his game in the playoffs year after year. So. Yeah, he's just an indispensable part of the team, and he's had a tremendous contribution, especially in the last game.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Onto the Zoom, we'll go with Andrew.
Hey Kevin, Andrew Lee with Hudson River Blue. You mentioned the 2022 conference final. You played in that game. You're sort of familiar with this kind of game, having been there. Is there anything that you guys talked about internally about the sort of emotional aspects of playing in a final and having not won in 2022, is there anything that you draw from that experience now going into this game to help you prepare and help you just kind of be ready for the challenge of kind of winning and trying to get to MLS Cup final?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've tried to approach each game with the same mentality and same approach. The preparation stays the same each week because that's what's gotten us to this point. So not a whole lot changes. I think, as conversations go on the rest of the week, I think some of the veteran guys in the group and guys that have had that experience can kind of share what they felt in those games and what to expect from the speed of play and the atmosphere. And I think those conversations will be ongoing. But in terms of the preparation from the team and individuals, I think it's kind of sticking to our routines because that's what's helped us get here.
Scott?
Hey Kevin, how are you? It's Scott Church in Street Fun Soccer. A couple minutes ago, you were just talking about Maxime Morales. Let's switch it up a little bit, go a little younger. Give your thoughts on Johnny Shore during these playoffs. Thanks.
Yeah, Johnny's been a beast. He's got this like stoic presence about him where he seems unfazed by any moment that he steps into, and I think it was kind of inevitable once our two midfielders went down in the last game that Johnny was gonna have to step up and play a big role, and I think he was excellent in the last game in settling things down in the midfield. And yeah, for a guy who's just 18 years old to step into one of the more difficult environments you can find in the MLS and in a high-paced game, to have his calm and poise and be able to play his game despite what the opponent was throwing at us, it's super impressive. You don't find that in many 18-year-olds, and I think what makes him so special as a young player is his ability to find his way into any game and still play his game.